How's it going, guys? Frankie here. So, helping a buddy out with a little project. He needed like a scraper blade for his bucket, or he needed a scraper blade for his backhoe. And he said the bucket is like $5 with that flat scraper blade on it. So, I told him we could do it much cheaper than that. He's got 1 inch steel. I cut every tooth. We had a bunch of new teeth, and I used some of the old ones and cut them all as gussets pretty much, so they're nice and reasonably flat to weld. And we're gonna try welding that to the bucket. Should be okay. And then we'll just bolt in. Everything will just be bolt in. I think it would be okay. It's pretty well hidden behind the plate. Yeah. Just have to see how it goes. Gotta take it all apart now anyways and grind. I marked where the teeth are landing on the back side of there. So yeah, I don't really know. This is kind of how he suggested, and he says what he wants. So what's gonna happen is there's supposed to be pins holding these in, but I think they're meant to do one at a time. Like if you turn the bucket on its side, you can easily hit them in and out, but it's very hard to get them in and out when there's all this stuff in the way. So I think nuts and bolts are the best solution. I was even thinking I would drill out one of the holes and then put the nut right in there and weld the nut in, so all you have to do is do up the bolts. But whatever. He wants to keep it as cheap as possible anyway, so looks like we're gonna get some rain here. Be nice to get this tacked up, and I can pretty much just find a spot close in there to weld it, even if it's raining. It's like 450 pounds without that plate. Tractor can lift it idling, so it's not heavy for the tractor, but for me, it's pretty hard to move around. So once I get it tacked in place, it should be okay to take it off the bucket and just weld it. All flat welding, nice and easy. It's pretty much gonna do a few passes here, maybe 3. Try and fill that in nice on each, and then probably 3 passes. I'm just using MIG flux core. Probably have to run my machine on full blast. Yeah, we'll see. I was almost thinking I'd like to get my arc welder going, but it's been a couple of years since I started it. It's way back in the backfield. It's got flat tires, but I'm sure my tractor will pull it out of there. I don't want a truck. Anyways, yeah. It's starting to get a little dark over there. I just heard some thunder. Anyways, I'm gonna get this ground and tacked back together. Thanks. So, you guys are ever interested in doing nice basic welds? Not bad machine. This is a Canadian Tire if you're in Canada. Let's It's a Lincon 180 migpak. Just MIG welding, but I'm running flux core wire, so it's got the gas and everything right in the wire. And it does reasonable welds. Not like perfect, but I think they're a little closer to stick welds than MIG welds. They do come with a flag on top when you're finished the weld. Like that. There's a crack right there on that weld corner. This is a cast steel. I'm not sure if it's mild. I'm sure it's mild steel, but hardened. Not this plate, but these teeth would be hardened. But yeah, so what we're making here is a scraper blade for this bucket. Instead of buying a new bucket that's got a flat blade on it, we just made an attachment for it. And the bucket already has a kind of a bow in the center, so I'm trying to work around that. And we're just going to be bolting through there. We're not going to be able to put the real pins in. Can't even see what's going on there, but I'm not going to be able to put the real pins back in because you're never going to get, you can do the end ones, but you never get the middle ones because you pretty much need to take off a pin or take off a tooth to do the next one, or you need something that goes all the way through everything. So yeah, just trying to weld it a little bit cooler so it doesn't warp as bad. I know it's going to pull a bit, but I'm trying to avoid major pulling. Just holding it pretty good. I think I might have a 30-second, maybe a 1/16 of actual bend there. It's not bad. The blade is soft anyways, so it's gonna wear down quicker. So we do got lots of material there for it to wear. But as it is, this is what we're doing. So I'm gonna do 3 passes around everything, but I'm doing them very slow to keep the heat down, like I said. I can still touch it with my hand, so it's not incredibly hot, it's warm. I think I finished over in this area last, so. Yeah, trying my best. Like I said, as long as the bolt goes through there, which is gonna be loose anyways. So I was actually thinking about welding the nut on the insides, but what's the inside of there? And you just kind of put the bolt in, and you should have enough room between the teeth to put a bolt in. No problem. You don't want super long bolts anyways. You need reasonably sized bolts. Whatever that tooth width is, you pretty much want to maybe a 1/4 inch longer than that. It's a pretty heavy bucket. Supposedly it's 450 pounds, 425 pounds without that piece on there. And the tractor lifts her up idling, so it's not bad. Yeah, just kind of keep going. Like I said, I don't want it to warp outrageously. guys. Thanks. So this side's finished. 3 passes around everything. Not bad. Did bend a little bit, so throw beads. I'm gonna start in these 2 here. Do that one and that one, and check it. Some nice hot pass welds, no undercut. Then I can grind them off flush, and it'll look normal. But let's see. Yeah, 3/8 of an inch, 1/4 inch. I might do these 2 middle ones and the sides stay fine. It's about 1/8 per side, maybe a little bit more, 3/16 per side. It's not horrible, but like I said, it's not perfect. All the holes stayed reasonable. They're only getting bolts through there, so it's not going to be like a super tight fit anyways. Yeah, still got to do this weld here, so I'm gonna do that tomorrow. And I'll start with 2 real hot passes right in the center here. See what happens. And I won't try and cool it quick. I will try and keep it as hot as I can. For as long as I can. Yeah, should be fine. Glad the MIG welder did it. It is a 240 volt machine, so it's pretty good. A pretty nice weld in there. Anyways, thanks guys. So did 4 passes on the bottom side there, and you can see it's gone from about a 1/4 inch down to about 1/8. So if I do 2 more passes here and 2 more passes here on the bottom side, that should fold her down pretty good. Probably as good as it'll need to be. It's not that it's bad right now, but you do gotta kind of hit it on with the hammer because it's pulled a bit, but it'll go alright. Got my gloves, a little hot. And after that, I can grind that face back off, all the weld that I just did on there, grind all that off. And yeah, it rained last night, so all my welds got rusty, but nothing a wire wheel doesn't handle. Probably gonna give it some paint just so it doesn't rust. It seems like it's a little bit softer steel than the rest of it, but I'll try 1 more pass up there and 1 more pass up here on the flip side and see. I'll put my flat edge back on there again and see if that did enough. If not, then I'll run another pass down each side of it. Pretty much called padding, where you're building up metal, where you just do 1 bead and you do a pass that fills that bead and half of the fresh metal. So you're going about half and half on the bead, off the bead, and you keep doing that and you'll get an even, if your beads are similar, you'll get an even flat padded material, which that's how you kind of build up material. You just keep running beads, wasting welding wire, but it is what it is. It's how you do it. So, and for me, I'm trying to get a little bit of a warp out of it. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I'd like it to go on and off relatively easy. And I'm sure once you hit the first rock, it will it'll kind of loosen things up a bit. Not to mention we're not using the real pins that go in there, which have to be lined up properly. Probably just be using bolts and nuts. So, anyways, thanks guys. I'll do one more pass and see how it goes. So, took off the beads. Can barely even tell the difference. I think it looks alright. Does have a tiny little bow to it, but it's pretty hard to tell. See if we can. Yeah, it's hard to tell. I don't want to touch it. I can't tell. But there's a little tiny bow still to it. About a little less than 1/8 of an inch. Yeah, it'll do. It's cheap. This bucket, the new bucket was about $5 grand. I think we're under 1,000 with all my work and the material, the teeth, everything. So yeah, let this primer dry up nice. I'm not gonna paint it. I'm just gonna prime it. But I think it'll be fine. And this way, if he doesn't use it for a while, it's not going to be a total piece of rust when he goes to use it. Anyways, thanks guys. It's getting cold. So, my chimney cap broke. It was just flopping around. It's like paper, less thinner than paper. But that's why my roof is going all orange, because it's been rotting and it's just wearing away like crazy. But I called around. We don't have any 7-inch chimney caps available anywhere, of course. Maybe an hour away, but so I just whipped one up, use the old inner piece there and weld her up. This top piece is stainless. Thinking I'm gonna burn off this paint here. Doesn't seem to be sticking too good to the stainless anyways. So, let's see how it goes. I'm sure it'll come off pretty quick, but yeah, I think that's good enough. Should be plenty of air ventilation. Goes up there. Oh yeah, see what it looks like. Anyways, thanks guys. Yeah, I think that'll be just fine. You see how much that other cap rotted. That's why I did the top stainless on this one. And most of the wind comes from this way, so that's why I want it like that. But it's gonna take forever to get that off. I think that'll be just fine. Protects the hole. Actually, it's probably better than the other one where this one covers this lip. Anyways, good enough. Thanks guys.